Hello, Capricorns and Aquarius. And for those of you born on the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius, this reading is for you. We haven't really time dated these readings. I'm going to say August in the title, but I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with these. And I'm finding that a lot of the messages coming out are resonating for a lot longer than I feel like would for just a month or a couple weeks. So when you're hearing this or receiving this is probably the right time. And thank you for tuning in this little moment in space and time. What we're going to do is we're going to receive an oracle message from Capricorn, an oracle message for Aquarius, a tarot message for Capricorn, a tarot message from Aquarius, and then reveal the best path to follow, followed by a clarifier as we get to you, the cusp baby. I've been saying Cuspers. Wonder how weird that's all going to turn out when I go to publish these videos. So, okay, you guys have pulled number 45, sad embrace, okay? So what's going on here with this Capricorn is a remembrance of self, a remembrance to be authentic. A sad embrace sometimes is when we're releasing a little bit of that anguish, a little bit of that, feeling like maybe it could have been different. Maybe, the coulda, woulda, shouldas usually end up in a sad embrace when we let go of the mental thinkings about what went wrong and we get more into the feeling about it. We get into sad embrace. But you're much more than what you think and what you feel. You are a beautiful spark of source. And the sad embrace is just maybe a little bit of a cocoon for some of you. There could be some of you that are held up in a bit of sanctuary right now just because you're trying to make certain reforms, certain changes, progressive changes in your life at this time. And you may just realize that things around you are not what you once perceived. You may be perceiving things now from a more enlightened point of view or from a more aware point of view through natural maturity. With card number 45 and sad embrace, and you may be realizing, oh, what is that saying when they say, oh, the world comes closing in on you, like that kind of stage. And it's usually around Saturn return for a lot of younger viewers out there that, even you get the feeling years early and that sort of thing. All right, sad embrace with one card. We're just going to leave it at that. We're going to see what's coming in from the Aquarius side, okay? The side of you that just says, all right, I got to figure it out. I got to know what's going on. I have to be in the know. I have to, I won't pick on Aquarius too much. I love all the signs equally as I used to, let's say. All right, we got two coming out here for Aquarius. They've got loyal heart and come to the edge. So some of you from this side of things, looks like you could be taking a risk in a new relationship, putting all your cards on the table, and if you're doing so, God forbid, I want to make sure that you're all in. Like they say in the poker matches, don't go in only 70% sure that you're going to love this person. If you're laying that many cards down on the table, you could be setting yourself up for repeat heartburn. And not the Gaviscon kind, the actual right? Because you don't want a situation where, let's say a year or 2 years go by and you realize, well, who are we kidding kind of thing, right? Or if you're at that stage already, come to the edge, analyze it, take a risk on love. Either say, all right, let's renew this, let's make it fresh, let's make it real, let's go to one another and say we are 100% all in, or maybe it's time we go on a Ross and Rachel here, right? Or for if you're viewing a different part of the rule, a break, okay? So this is situations where it's there's a risk that's inherent here with a loyal heart with somebody, and some of you might just be letting go of your younger children. They're at an age where maybe I feel their identity is taken hold, and the parameters in which you parent may be changing around you at this time, or there may be struggles to release your attachment to a child. Okay, so a feeling I have for those cards. All right, let's see, Aquarius, what your tarot message is. What is the tarot message for the Aquarius side? It catches like that. Okay, the King of Wands. So some of you are definitely effective at managing your own life, maybe even managing others in workplace environments, and managing your affairs, your relationships as well. If someone's been feeling like there's a bigger issue at hand here, it may be that you may have been a little bit too demonstrative, or maybe a little bit too sort of insurmountable in opinion, we'll call it. And if that's the case, maybe it's just a message here to tone it down, to take that risk. Let yourself be a little bit vulnerable. Let yourself be led for a little while. Be that silent one in the room that just witnesses what other people are doing, if you're kind of the one to jump in. If you're in a situation where you're always having to delegate and direct, then this situation just says that the risk that you may be perceiving is manageable, is you will be able to negotiate it quite easily, okay? And if you're trying to manage your emotions here in this sad embrace, definitely I feel that this is a time of reflection for you guys. This is a time of heightened sensitivity even. Maybe one of those things where it's like kind of like the way you saw others maybe as being too sensitive or something like that. You may be realizing, holy smokes, maybe I am in the upper percentile of unsensitive, right? Or you may be in a time where you just haven't been forced into that particular part of your mind and your body where you've had to be overly sensitive, right? Maybe you've been a professional person with no kids, and now you're in a situation where maybe you've fallen in love and someone's asking you for a child, or somebody has children of their own in a new relationship. You're realizing you're having to share time with those children, that person become a part of that family, and maybe there is an older patriarch or an older matriarch there, and you have to go sit through family reunions being like, well, a load of BS, right? Or whatever it might be, okay? That's a message coming in for Aquarius side. So good job with that, King of Wands. I think you guys have been building and you guys have been going through harsh lessons about how you look at things and how you make the best of the situations that you cannot directly change or manipulate, okay? All right, now, wow, this is interesting. So we've got Ace of Cups coming up here, all right? Some of you could be just been feeling single for a very long time, like you were receiving no love. Like I say, this professional person out here that was always working, always out in the world, always getting ahead, always into their own projects, always doing their own thing. Maybe one day they look up and they're like, wow, it's tough to pill to swallow when you don't have anyone around to share it with, okay? But have hope. Don't give up faith in the Ace of Cups, the bringer of new love, of new joy, new understanding. You will find the more you are in touch with your feelings, the easier it is for people to love you. If you've been single for a long time, that old paradigm is as well, oh, the longer they've been single, the harder they are to love because they've gained all this independence, right? But don't worry, you're not the only one that's done this. You're not the only person out there, in the 8 billion of us that has gone that road. So I feel like there's going to be some reconnecting and some love taking root for older generational people at this time. That if this reading is touching you, you may be a part of that energy where it's like you could be associating with new communities. You could be taking the risk to put your heart on the line and go and try something new, and then you meet somebody as a result. There's a lot of heart in this reading, okay? But there's also this needing to manage your sensitivity, your feelings in this situation, or at least come to terms with them, okay? Like I said, I'm not a cusp baby. I couldn't imagine what it must be like to have been born on this cusp, because I feel like there is this overlay of like just strong independence, right? That's craziness. Well, I don't mean to call you crazy. It is what it is, right? So Capricorn, like this is a matter of the heart, right? Sort out your feelings. Even if you have to write them down, you can write a short story, write a poem, okay? Right? Aquarius, the heart is on the line. Okay, what are you going to do to manage the risk that you're taking by loving somebody? Is it going to be too, are you going to be able to have a healthy detachment to allow others to have a say? That sort of thing. That's the balance here I'm finding is between heart and sort of analytical behavior, I guess you could say. All right, so you guys have pulled the Ten of Earth and the King of Earth. So this is interesting. So this is definitely for the more mature viewers who that was resonating with. And there could be situations where you are feeling that you might be looking for a way to enjoy somebody's company that is more rooted. Maybe some of you are in long distance relationships, and it's a point where you can't handle it anymore. Or some of you could have been maybe seeing somebody that had somebody else, like, albeit like they could have been separated, but maybe still legally married and that sort of thing, right? And as well, some of you are putting all your cards out on the table, like we talked about earlier, but maybe the other person is not. Maybe the King of Earth is holding on too tightly to his ball of wax, to his vulnerability, right? That could be why that's coming up here as well. And try, you might be trying, but you might not be able to get maybe the words "I love you" or the knowing that person's backstory, or that person's family, or that what makes that person, what brought that person to you in that moment in space and time, right? It may be somebody, it could be a Taurus, a Capricorn. What's the other one there? Taurus, Capricorn, or a Virgo, that is feeling closed off to you at this time. But I feel this message of have faith, hold faith, keep picking away at it. You don't want to natter at this person, but at the same time, you may want to try some new tricks to help them reveal or heal themselves, right? If you're in a partnership where it's just a matter of maybe their energies are just a little bit stuck, why they can't be open, right? There may be certain techniques that you can use to have your partner open up, right? Be more forthcoming with you. Those late night 2 a.m. conversations about life, philosophy of the world, and those sort of things, right? Now your clarifier, some of you are like, nah, that's a wrong message for me. I'm ready to cut and run, right? I'm ready to take a risk of not having to be around this person, which is true because this is general readings. The whole thing could have been flipped, right? We could have taken the querent and the environment and switched them around, right? This all could be happening where it's like, you're cutting this out of your life. That is the significance of the risk that you are taking, right? And you're wondering, maybe can I manage things on my own, right? Will new love come for me, right? It's saying you're going to be okay if you are going to cut and run. Glad we asked for that clarifier. That was important for me as a reader to see that, right? And with this, around all your pentacles, this is harvest time. This is like a windfall for somebody too. Somebody's coming into a lot of money, perhaps through an inheritance that's coming their way, or somebody could be marrying this into a lot of money, and that's what's got you shaken up. Okay, there's a big harvest coming here as well. All right, so Capricorn, Aquarius, this was your cusp reading. Let me know in the comments section what you thought of it. Know that I love all you guys, and we'll see you next time.